Imagine being dwarfed by something so unfathomably big out in the world. Enter megalophobia, a fear of large objects. Megalophobia depends on scale, with the person being overcome by the excessive size of an object. What instills fear from such an experience or scenario? Is it the visual stimuli, or does it go deeper? I believe this stems from Alice in Wonderland syndrome. Alice in Wonderland syndrome is the sensation that the world is growing larger around a person, while the person themselves feels small, almost infinitesimally so. This syndrome causes differences of perception in size, distance, and time. Alice in Wonderland syndrome can be caused by a myriad of conditions, such as migraines and seizures. It's known that a lot of people have experienced this syndrome at some point in their lives, as it can come on temporarily and disappear without a trace. The sense of scale can be anxiety-inducing. It can produce an innate, biological, almost primordial sense of fear. If we go even deeper, we could link this fear of the very large to a general anxiety surrounding the concept of infinity. The infinite, a concept which is mentally exhausting and incomprehensible to imagine in the human mind. The larger something gets, the harder it is for the brain to comprehend. It reaches the unfathomable. What if two things were combined, the infinite and a terrifying visual stimulus? This visual stimulus would have to be evocative of a predator, something which produces a biological sense of fear. An infinitely large, terrifyingly constructed monstrosity would be, in my opinion, the most terrifying monster which the brain could conceive of. But what would such a creature look like? I would say that a creature of excessive size would have to look like something from the uncanny valley, as opposed to something so grotesque that it looks like a caricature. A monster of the uncanny valley would be something that looks like something in our world, yet has features that are unsettling or off about it. Maybe eyes that have a distortion to them and a mouth which is somewhat disfigured. It's extremely challenging to determine something universally frightening, but I'll continue to uphold that there has to be something in the collective psyches of humanity that must incite fear universally. What that is anyone's guess. It's my view that universal fear lies in the infinite scale of a being that resides in the uncanny valley, closing in on the person with its excessively large, foreboding presence. A presence which develops a person's fear of big objects, a fear known as megalophobia.